Hello and welcome back to Serendipity Intended. My name is Tracy Ann, and I am so glad that you are here. It is time for another day in Junk Journal, January 2026. It is January 25th, and let's take a look at our prompt here. It is rest. I am very fond of using magazines and images from magazines in my junk journals. And I thought this one would be really great. She looks like she's having a nice, peaceful, restful winter staring out the window with her cup of coffee. So I thought I would tear out the image instead of cut it out just to, I don't know, make the edges seem a little softer. That seemed more appropriate for the prompt of rest. So I went ahead and tore that out and figuring out where I wanted her on the page and then just folding up the bottom so that I could tear off that bottom edge as well. Again, kind of having a little bit softer transition between the image and the page in the back. And then I did have this book page, and I've used it on other pages in this journal, so I thought I would add it here just to create a little bit of continuity between the pages. And I wanted something on the other side, and I had this bit of tissue paper that was kind of crinkled, and I liked the texture. So again, trying to keep this fairly simple and without a lot of bulk, but still creating something that I think is visually interesting. And also because this is my daily journal, leaving myself some spaces in which I can actually write and journal. Realized after I glued this paper down that I hadn't gone through and traced over my date blocks as I had been doing. So I had to quickly peel that up and just trace in the pieces that I'd missed. Writing over top of something that is pre-printed on your page to give it a little bit more of a handmade look and make it feel like your own instead of something pre-printed is a really simple trick that I often use when I'm working in a pre-made planner or diary like this one. One of the things I love about working with tissue paper is that if it's crinkled and you use a glue stick to glue it down, it will retain those wrinkles. And I just absolutely love that. More glue to glue her down. So I wanted to play a little bit with blurring the edges a little more between the girl and the image in the back. So I had a little bit of a play with my distress crayons. This is probably not the official way to use them, but it works for me and I like the way that it looks. It just softens the edges a little bit, gives it a little bit more of an art journal feel, I think, rather than just using collage. And that in turn creates just a little bit more depth and texture. Tissue paper, I was trying to use the distress crayon to accentuate the wrinkles a little bit more than I had. Now I did try and go back with a gel pen, but quickly found that the sort of waxy texture of the distress crayon made it pretty much impossible for me to do a whole lot of writing with the gel pen. So I ended up not being able to do quite the kind of marking that I had intended to do. But I still like the way it turned out. What I didn't like was the laptop that was in the girl's lap, I didn't think that that felt very restful. But fortunately, I had this sticker and a quote that I thought connected with the idea of rest. And so I just adhered that over top of the laptop, and voila, it was gone. And then I did grab that gel pen again to add a little bit of markings around the frame itself. So all that was left was to add a little bit of color to my date block, as I have been doing, and that's my page. I hope that you enjoyed this video and that you consider hitting the like button and maybe even subscribing to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you consider hitting the like button or even subscribing to the channel, and please make a great day.